All right. I decided to make a quick little video. Um, I've heard some people say they don't feel feedback. I think it's not that you don't feel feedback. I think it's you don't understand what feedback is. So maybe I can explain it a little bit better to you and maybe help some of you guys out. Feedback is what you're feeling on the pins, on the key pins. Now, this is just a standard pin. Like if you cut the front of a lock face off, this is what you would see. You'd see a spring, a driver pin, and a key pin. So when we say we're feeling for feedback, we're feeling for right here, there we have no torsion or tension on this cylinder. So there's no feedback. It just the feedback is that it just moves up and down and you can feel the spring. Now feedback with just a standard driver pin is when you feel it binding up. So you push on the pin and you feel it getting stiff. So you push until you hear or feel the click, okay? Now the click is feedback, okay? And then when you go back through the stack and you check other pin stacks and they feel springy, like there's no tension on it, then they're not bound. So a bound pin is feedback. A pin that is set just feels loose like this. That is feedback. A pin that has been overset, which I can't really do because I'll mess up this spring. A pin that has been overset feels mushy. It feels it feels like something's pushing on it, but it doesn't feel like spring. It just feels like mush. So it isn't set, so it isn't loose like this. The key pin isn't loose. And it isn't bound, so it just feels like it just feels mushy. The next type of feedback we'll go with is the feeling of a serrated pin. So the feedback of feeling a bound pin, and you push on it and you get clicks, click, 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 but it's still bound, and then it clicks again. So say there's three serrations in this pin. You'll push on the pin and you'll hear click, but it doesn't feel set. Click, click, and then you're to the shear line, and then you feel that click and the pin loosens up. That's feedback. The next type of feedback you get is with like a spool pin. So you'll get a bound pin and you'll push on it and you'll go into a false set. I wish I had the different pins for this. I'll get them one day. But a spool pin is shaped like a spool. So if it's shaped like a spool, feedback you get from it, shaped like that, the feedback you get from it is when you push it up, it'll click, and this cylinder will go into a false set. So the core will click a little bit and move down. That's a false set. That is feedback. So then when you push it up past the shear line, it will, so you're in a false set. Say this was a spool pin and you're caught on the spool. When you push up to get it to the shear line, this cylinder or core will kick back and then hit the shear line and move forward. That is another form of feedback. And then there's, you got gin spools and stuff like that, but we'll just go with those three basics. The standard pin, which is feedback, which is the feedback of hitting the shear line and feeling that loose pin. And then the serrated, you'll hear click, 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 and then you'll get the feedback and your key pin will be loose, just like with the standard. And then the spool pin, which will be a false set, so it'll move forward, and then you push up on it again, it'll straighten out, and then hit the shear line and click again. That's feedback. And checking your pins to see the jiggle test, that's feedback also. So when we talk about feedback, that's feedback. I know a lot of people are saying, I don't feel that stuff. I don't know what you guys are talking about, the feedback. That's what we're talking about. I hope that explains it a little bit better. I wish I had the other pins for this. One of these days, hopefully, I'll get the other pins so I can show you better. But feedback, that's what we're talking about. All right. Thanks. I will see you guys later.